Section 9, Depositional Landforms. We'll talk first, we'll define delta, and then we'll talk about natural levees. These are the two features that you see as a depositional landforms in an area where it's always seen. Delta always seen near the mouth of the river, where it's actually where the water is trying to reach the open water, especially ocean, right? So the water is creating these distributaries to reach the final destination, where it's going to be oceans. So sometimes it cannot make the final destination easily, and it's stuck with sediments. So it's create another distributaries and another distributary that is uh, finalized with this feature, which is delta, which is forming a depositional feature that we can see when we are out in the field. And especially the famous delta here, we see that developed in the last 6,000 years, where Mississippi River Delta, it's still transforming into its final shape, because the distributaries are always adding up and based on the sediment level, right? The second feature we are going to learn is that natural levees. Natural levees result from sediment deposited along the margins of a stream channel by many flooding events. So we see natural levees at the flood plain, right? Because of levees slope gently away from the channel, the adjacent floodplain is poorly drained, resulting in back swamps and yazoo tributaries that flow parallel to the main river. So we see at the floodplain, if we ask you what we see at the floodplain, we see back swamps, we see yazoo tributaries, and we also see natural levees. That's something that you have to add in your assignments. And if you are taking the lab, there are a lot of questions based on these features. Go ahead and watch this video, and we'll visualize how natural leaves form actually in this video, and then we'll finish up, and you can go ahead and do your homework for this section.
Flooding and natural levee development. Many of the features of a stream floodplain are the result of periodic flooding. Water from the rising stream spills out over the banks and inundates the floodplain with silt-laden water. After the floodwaters recede, notice that new deposits of alluvium have been left on the floodplain. You now see a cross-section of the stream channel. Notice the sediment-rich water that spills out of the stream channel during the flood. As the floodwaters recede, alluvium is deposited along the banks of the stream, building up natural levees. Natural levees are often the highest point on a stream floodplain. Notice the small stream on the floodplain to the right of the main stream. This is known as a yazoo stream. A yazoo stream is a tributary that runs parallel to the main stream on a floodplain because it is blocked from joining the main stream by the natural levees formed by the larger stream.